So my first question for you are, what's the next steps to get the government back up and running?
Today, about 4 p.m. in the House of Representatives, we expect to take up the bill that the Senate passed. It's an amended version of what we had sent to them originally. And once we pass that bill, it's going to head back to the president's desk and then he'll sign it. I expect we'll be back fully open by either late tonight or tomorrow once those things happen. What we're excited about is the fact that we're actually going to take care of three of the 12 appropriations bills that need to be done. That means we're going to get a full year taken care of for appropriations for those three of those 12 major bills, military construction and veterans and ag probes, and then also the legislative branch, get those done. And then the CR really is just till January 30th for the other nine of those 12 bills, which are really a little bit smaller but more controversial as far as money goes.
Okay. So just explain in kind of like simpler terms, what are the big changes to the healthcare bill that everyone's voting and discussing on?
Well, the Democrats actually did not get any policy wins out of their holdout. In fact, what we're voting on today is the same proposal that Senator Thune gave to the Democrats 30 days ago. And it's just a reaffirmation that Democrats were holding out simply because of politics. They were trying to get past that November 4th election date. But all this brouhaha about the ACA enhanced credits, the credits that they put in place during the COVID time frame that were to expire on the terms that Democrats set at the end of this year. Those actually were not included in this bill. There was a promise by the Senate to take that matter up separately on a vote in the Senate. There's no promise in the House to take that up for a vote. But certainly, we're going to have to continue to talk to them about that issue. And we know that. And what we said that from the very beginning. It's a separate issue. It's not an annual appropriations issue. It should never been included in this discussion on annual appropriations. It should never been used as leverage to hold the American people hostage.
Okay. And then this has obviously been the longest government shutdown that we've had. And I would say the American people have felt it with SNAP benefits or flights, things like that. Kind of what's your response to them?
Yeah, I hope the American people remember when they go to the election polling places next year who caused this shutdown. It was the Democrats. Again, the Democrats have now capitulated and voted in the Senate, and we expect that we're going to pass today in the House the same thing that we proposed more than 30 days ago, and that was the clean CR until January 30th, plus these three other appropriations bills that we were tagged on that were frankly were done before the end of September. All of this could have been avoided if they would have just passed the clean CR that we passed in the House as Republicans on September the 19th. They instead wanted to play political games. They wanted to try to show that their base that they're going to fight President Trump at every stage and at every end. And that did nothing good for the American people. In fact, it was devastating for the American people in a number of ways. It's going to cost the taxpayers more money ultimately. Had a bunch of people working that were not getting paid, TSA agents, ATC folks. We've talked about the SNAP benefits, and there's going to be delays in WIC benefits. And even though we're getting it going again, there's a lot of hurting people out there as a result of the Democrats playing political games.
Mhm. And then my last question for you is, are you concerned that we'll just be back in this issue again in January? Because
Well, it will not be the same in January because come January the 30th, regardless of what happens, three of the 12 appropriations bills are going to get passed today. One of those is ag appropriations, and that will ensure that, for instance, the SNAP benefits continue at least through the end of the fiscal year at the end of September next year, September 2026. And we're also going to have that military construction veterans appropriations package passed and the legislative package passed too. So people like Capitol police officers can get paid. They get paid underneath the legislative appropriations bill. They have not been paid since this shutdown happened. And so, when we see those folks around here and look them in the eye, we know they're coming to work day in and day out of their duty and their respect for their service, but they're not getting paid for that. It's putting their families in a very tough situation.
okay, that's good to know. And then am I understanding this correctly that this is kind of just a temporary fix and it would have to be revoted on again in January? Or once it's voted on today, it's voted on permanently.
Well, the vote we're taking today includes both kind of a temporary patch for some of the annual appropriations, but also the permanent fix for the rest of the fiscal year for those three appropriations bills that I mentioned. The agriculture appropriations bill, the military construction veterans bill, and the legislative branch bill as well. Those three bills are going to be voted on today, passed into law, signed into law, and that will provide those appropriations for the entire fiscal year through the end of September of 2026. For the remainder of the appropriations, those other nine portions of the 12 bills, that will only go until January 30th. We will have to deal with that again. And certainly that's going to be tough. We know it's going to be tough. But there was no promise to give in to the political winds of the Democrats that they wanted to extend these awful ACA COVID era subsidies that are doing nothing more than driving up the profits of health insurance companies and driving up the premiums that people are paying even further. And we're going to have statistics about that. We're putting that out here in the next couple of days to show folks that these premiums are not saving these premiums. The premium subsidies are not saving them money as consumers. In fact, it's costing them money, and it's just padding the profits of health insurance companies.